Welcome the anointed ones. When a chosen one walks away, they don't just leave, they dismantle an entire illusion. Fact. Did you know that most people only realize the value of what they had after it's gone? But when it comes to a chosen one, that realization hits differently, because it's not just their absence, it's the void left by their extraordinary energy. Welcome back, chosen ones. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Now, have you ever noticed how some people just can't seem to get over you? It's like they're haunted by the fact that you left, as if your exit set off an emotional earthquake they weren't prepared for. And here's the kicker. It didn't work out for them because you're the chosen one. When you leave, you don't just walk away. You break their game, their expectations, and their fragile sense of control. It's almost comical how they thought you'd stick around, right? Today, we're diving into the reason why your departure hits them harder than anything else. And trust me, it's not just because they miss you. It's because they need you, and they never even realized it until you were long gone. Let's break it down. At number 1, your departure revealed their dependency on your light. When you left, something much deeper happened than just a goodbye. It wasn't just your presence that vanished from their life. It was the energy you carried. You were the source of light in their world, whether they admitted it or not. You provided a sense of clarity, a kind of invisible force that made everything around you brighter. They didn't even realize how much they depended on that light until it was gone. The truth is, people don't always appreciate what's sustaining them. They took your energy for granted, mistaking it as something that would always be there, something they had control over. But when you walked away, it was like a power outage they never saw coming. Suddenly, their world wasn't as bright. Suddenly, their confidence, their plans, their sense of self, everything seemed less solid, less sure. You exposed their dependency in a way that shook them. They thought they could replace you, move on, or find another source to fill that gap. But it doesn't work that way with chosen ones. Your energy is irreplaceable. It's not just the warmth you brought into their life. It's the fact that you were unknowingly holding their world together. Without you, they're left stumbling in the dark, trying to find something, anything, that will make them feel whole again. This isn't about ego, it's about reality. You weren't trying to make them dependent, they simply were. Your light, your presence, brought a balance to their life that they couldn't create on their own. And now that it's gone, they're left with the uncomfortable truth that it was never them who had the power. It was always you. Number 2, you disrupted their illusion of control. They thought they had control over you. They really believed that through subtle manipulation, guilt, or societal expectations, they could keep you in check. But when you walked away, it completely shattered their illusion. You weren't supposed to leave. You were supposed to stay, play by their rules, and conform to their narrow idea of how life should be. Your departure hit them hard because it forced them to confront something they never considered. You were never under their control to begin with. For them, control is everything. It's how they keep their world neat and predictable, how they make themselves feel powerful. But you don't operate within their framework. Being a chosen one means you have your own path, your own mission, and no one, not even those closest to you, gets to dictate that. When you left, it became painfully clear that they had no real power over you. And that's terrifying for people who thrive on control. They tried to play their games, thinking you'd be the one to bend or stay in line. But the moment you broke free, their entire strategy fell apart. Now, they're left scrambling, trying to figure out what went wrong, when the truth is simple. You were never meant to be controlled. You saw through their manipulation and walked away because you operate on a higher level, one that doesn't rely on fear or power plays. What they're struggling with now is the realization that their tactics are powerless against someone like you. You exposed their lack of true influence. Your departure wasn't just a loss. It was proof that their control was nothing more than an illusion, and that's something they simply can't handle. Number 3. They thought you needed them until you didn't. They were convinced you needed them. They believed you were somehow dependent on their presence, their approval, or the connection you had with them. In their mind, you would always be around, always come back, and always rely on what they provided, whether it was emotional support, companionship, or even validation. But when you walked away, you shattered that belief entirely. The truth is, you never actually needed them. Sure, you may have enjoyed the relationship or the connection at some point, but deep down, you were always independent. You've always known how to take care of yourself, how to thrive without leaning on anyone else. They never saw that. They mistook your willingness to be there as dependency, when in reality, you were choosing to stay. Not because you had to, but because you wanted to. That's the part they missed. When you left, it sent a shockwave through their world. Suddenly, they had to confront the idea that maybe, just maybe, you were never as reliant on them as they thought. That's a hard pill to swallow for someone who built their sense of worth around the idea that you needed them. The moment you walked away and kept moving forward without looking back, it was like a wake-up call they weren't ready for. Now they're left grappling with the fact that not only did you leave, but you did it with ease. You didn't crumble. You didn't beg to come back. You didn't look back at all. And that's what gets to them the most. They've realized that while they thought you needed them, it was actually the other way around. They needed you to validate their worth, and without you, they're left feeling powerless. Number 4. They underestimated the power of your inner knowing. They thought they could outsmart you. They really believed that their tricks, lies, and manipulations would keep you hooked. But here's the thing. They completely underestimated your inner knowing. Being a chosen one means you have a deep, almost unshakable intuition. You see things for what they are long before others even realize what's happening. And that's where they went wrong. They thought they could pull one over on you, but you saw through it all from the beginning. Your ability to read people, to sense their true intentions, is something they never understood. They mistook your silence for ignorance, or assumed your patience meant you were blind to their games. But in reality, you were 2 steps ahead the entire time. You were watching, observing, and understanding the situation on a level they couldn't even begin to grasp. When you left, it wasn't because you suddenly realized what was happening. It was because you had already known for a long time and finally decided it was time to move on. You didn't leave in confusion or anger. You left with clarity, knowing exactly what you were doing and why. And that's the part they can't handle. They thought they were in control of the narrative, but you knew the whole story before they even started writing it. Now, they're left wondering how they got it so wrong. How did they miscalculate you so badly? The truth is, they never really understood who you were to begin with. Your inner knowing is a gift, something they can't replicate or comprehend. And when you use that gift to walk away, it exposed their lack of understanding. They thought they had you fooled, but the entire time, you were just waiting for the right moment to step away. Number 5. Your departure exposed their insecurities. When you walked away, it wasn't just about losing you. It hit them deeper because your departure exposed their insecurities, the ones they had been hiding all along. They tried to project strength, wisdom, and enlightenment, as if they had it all figured out. But the moment you left, their facade started to crumble. The fact that they can't let go isn't just about missing your presence. It's about the uncomfortable truth you left behind. Your exit forced them to confront what they didn't want to see in themselves. They had built an image around you, acting like they were the ones in control, the ones guiding things. But the reality is, they were leaning on you far more than you ever leaned on them. Your presence made them feel important, secure, and validated, but when you removed yourself from the equation, they were left facing their own insecurities without anyone to hide behind. They may have tried to make you believe they were strong, but deep down they knew you saw through them. Your leaving wasn't just a rejection. It was a mirror showing them the cracks in their own foundation. They were never as wise or enlightened as they pretended to be. In fact, a lot of what they claimed to be was just a reflection of what they saw in you. Without you around, they have to confront the fact that they aren't as self-sufficient or confident as they wanted you to believe. This is why they can't let go. Your departure wasn't just the end of a relationship or situation. It was a reality check they weren't prepared for. Now, they're left with nothing but their own insecurities, exposed for what they truly are, and it's something they're struggling to handle. Number 6. They can't replace you because there's no substitute. The hardest thing for them to accept is that you're irreplaceable. They can try to move on, surround themselves with new people, distractions, or quick fixes, but none of it can fill the void you left behind. Why? Because there's no substitute for the energy, presence, and essence of a chosen one. They might not have realized it while you were still there, but now that you're gone, it's impossible to ignore. It's not just about finding someone else. The connection you brought to their life was on a different level, one they can't replicate with anyone else. You offered a depth, a sense of understanding, and an energy that others simply can't match. They can try to replace you with someone more convenient, someone who follows their rules, but those replacements will always fall short. Why? Because the uniqueness of a chosen one isn't something you can find just anywhere. It's a rare combination of insight, strength, and spiritual power that leaves an undeniable mark. Now, as they scramble to fill the gap, every attempt feels hollow. Every person they meet, every distraction they chase only reminds them of what they've lost. You didn't just leave an empty space, you left a space that no one else can fill. And the more they try to replace you, the more obvious it becomes that they can't. This realization hits them hard because it strips away their illusion of control. They thought they could move on as if losing you wouldn't change anything. But now, they're faced with the truth. Some people, especially the chosen, are simply irreplaceable. And no matter how hard they try, no substitute will ever come close to matching what you brought into their life. Number 7. You became the ultimate mirror for their failures. When you left, you didn't just walk away from them. You became the ultimate mirror, reflecting back everything they tried to ignore about themselves. Your absence forced them to confront the very things they've been avoiding. Their lack of growth, their mediocrity, and their inability to rise to the level of someone like you. It wasn't just about losing you. It was about facing the harsh reality of who they are without you there to prop up their illusions. For so long, they lived comfortably, pretending that they were fine, that they had it all together. But your presence exposed the gaps in their life, their emotional immaturity, their stagnant mindset, their unwillingness to evolve. You didn't even have to say anything. Just being around you set a standard they couldn't live up to. They tried to downplay it, act like everything was normal, but deep down they always knew they were falling short. Your energy, your drive, your ability to constantly grow and push forward cast a light on everything they weren't willing to fix in themselves. When you walked away, they were left alone with that reflection. No more distractions, no more excuses, just the raw truth staring them in the face. And that's what haunts them. They're not just mourning the loss of you, they're haunted by the person they see in the mirror now that you're gone. Your departure forced them to reckon with their failures in a way they never had to before. It's brutal and it's inescapable. They can try to distract themselves or blame others, but they can't run from the truth that your absence revealed. They were never on your level, and without you they have to confront the painful reality of their own shortcomings. Number 8. Your evolution rendered their tactics powerless. When you left, they were hit with the harsh truth that their old tricks, manipulation, guilt, and control, no longer had any power over you. They had relied on these tactics for so long, thinking they could keep you in check, believing they had some hold over you. But as the chosen one, your evolution is unlike anything they could have predicted. You grew in ways that they couldn't understand, ways that left their methods useless against you. What they didn't see coming was your transformation. While they stayed stuck in their old ways, you evolved. You grew stronger, more self-aware, more in tune with your purpose. And as you elevated yourself, their attempts to manipulate you fell flat. What used to make you question yourself or feel guilty no longer even registered. The control they once believed they had over you dissolved the moment you realized your true power and potential. Now they're left scrambling, trying to figure out what went wrong. In their eyes, you were supposed to remain within their reach, someone they could still sway or control with their same old games. But the reality is, you've outgrown them. You evolved beyond their emotional traps, beyond the reach of their limited perspective. Their tactics no longer work because you're operating on a completely different level now, one they can't even touch. This leaves them feeling powerless. They can't manipulate someone who no longer reacts to manipulation. They can't control someone who's already free, and they can't guilt-trip someone who knows their worth. You've left them in the dust, and now all they're left with is confusion, wondering how they lost control. The truth? They never had control. You simply evolved past their reach. Number 9. They thought they could break you, but you broke free. They thought they could break you, that their tactics would shatter your spirit and leave you desperate to return. In their minds, you were supposed to crumble under the weight of their manipulation, lose your way in the chaos they created, or, at the very least, come crawling back, seeking their approval. But when you walked away and broke free instead of breaking down, it sent shockwaves through their entire perception of power and control. Your resilience is a silent threat to everything they stand for. It's a stark reminder that they miscalculated you from the beginning. They didn't see the strength within you, the fire that couldn't be extinguished by their games or cruelty. Instead of weakening, you found your voice, your strength, and your purpose. You refused to be another casualty in their quest for control. Every time they thought they had you on the ropes, every moment they believed you were bending to their will, you were actually gathering your power. You transformed their attempts to break you into fuel for your evolution. Now, they're left grappling with the realization that their methods not only failed but backfired spectacularly. Your freedom represents everything they fear, the idea that someone can rise above their manipulation, reclaim their power, and thrive. That's a threat to their fragile ego and the identity they've constructed. They can't accept that, while they were trying to confine you, you were already breaking free, forging a new path that left them behind. In their mind, you were supposed to be defeated, but instead you emerged stronger. That's the bitter truth they can't swallow. You didn't just survive, you flourished. And that resilience, that power, is something they will never understand or accept. Your ability to break free is a constant reminder of their own failures and insecurities, haunting them with every breath you take in your newfound freedom. Number 10. They are addicted to your unmatched energy. They are addicted to your unmatched energy. They may have taken it for granted when you were around, assuming that they could always rely on your light, your positivity, and the unique vibrancy you brought into their lives. But now that you've left, they are grappling with the harsh reality that there's no substitute for what you offered. Your energy was more than just a presence. It was a force that ignited inspiration, joy, and motivation in those around you. Now without it, they find themselves in a state of withdrawal. The void you left behind is palpable, and they're left searching for that same thrill, that same upliftment they once experienced in your company. They can try to fill the gap with distractions or new relationships, but nothing compares to the authenticity and depth of your energy. It's like they're trying to quench a thirst that can't be satisfied with anything less than what you provided. They may not have realized how reliant they were on your energy until it was gone. Your ability to uplift the room, your passion for life, and your innate sense of positivity created a ripple effect that energized everyone you encountered. Now, without that spark, they feel deflated and aimless, lost in a world that feels dull and uninspired. They're constantly searching for something, anything, that can replicate what you brought into their lives, but everything falls short. This addiction to your energy isn't just a craving, it's a desperate need. They're haunted by the absence of what you uniquely contributed, and that realization is a bitter pill to swallow. They took you for granted, thinking they could find your kind of energy elsewhere. But the truth is, you are irreplaceable. Your light shone in ways they never appreciated, and now, as they navigate life without it, they're left grappling with a profound emptiness that constantly reminds them of your absence. Number 11. Your absence forced them to see their true selves. Your absence forced them to confront their true selves, a reality they desperately tried to avoid while you were still around. They relied on you as a distraction from their own inadequacies, using you as a crutch to prop up their fragile self-esteem. With you in their life, they could project their insecurities onto you, deflecting their shortcomings and keeping their facade intact. But when you walked away, that crutch disappeared, and they were left standing alone, stripped of their illusions. Suddenly, they had no one left to blame for their failures, no one to cast their frustrations upon. The mirror you provided reflected back their own weaknesses, and without your presence to distract them, they were forced to reckon with the ugly truths they had long ignored. They were confronted with their stagnation, their unwillingness to grow, and the reality that they had been coasting on your energy rather than cultivating their own. This reckoning is painful, and it's easier for them to lash out at you than to take responsibility for their own shortcomings. They hate you for shining a light on what they tried so hard to conceal. Your strength and progress serve as a constant reminder of their own failures, and that's a bitter pill to swallow. They want to blame you for leaving, for making them feel inadequate. But the truth is, you merely revealed the reality they were already living in. Now they're wrestling with feelings of anger and resentment, not just toward you, but toward themselves. The absence of your support has forced them to confront the uncomfortable truth that they were never as strong or capable as they wanted to believe. And that realization, it's something they can't easily escape. Instead of addressing their own flaws, it's far easier for them to redirect their anger at you, even though you were never the source of their problems. In their eyes, your departure has turned into a scapegoat for the painful truths they're now forced to face. Number 12. Your detachment proved they never owned you. Your detachment shattered their illusion of ownership over you. They believed, perhaps mistakenly, that through loyalty, obligation, or a sense of attachment, they had some claim to you. They thought they could dictate your worth, that you would be tethered to them by emotional bonds and promises. But when you left without a second thought, it laid bare a truth they simply can't stomach. The chosen one belongs to no one. This realization hit them like a freight train. You weren't a possession to be owned, a trophy to display, or a tool to be used for their benefit. Your strength and independence revealed their fundamental misunderstanding of who you are. They operated in a world where relationships were transactional, where they expected loyalty in exchange for love. But your departure showed that true connections are not about ownership or control. You didn't owe them anything. Your detachment was a declaration of your autonomy, and it exposed their need for validation through possession. They were left reeling, grappling with the uncomfortable truth that you were never truly theirs. They mistook your presence for dependency, believing you needed them to thrive, but your exit proved that your power and purpose are self-sourced. You were always meant to walk your own path, and you did just that. Now they face the painful reality that they can't dictate the terms of your existence. They can't control someone who has already broken free from their grasp. You are a force of nature, moving through life on your own terms, and that's a concept they struggle to accept. Their attempts to pull you back, to re-establish that false sense of ownership, only highlight their desperation and insecurity. Your detachment is a powerful statement of freedom, a testament to your identity as the chosen one, and it stands in stark contrast to their need to control, and that for them is an unbearable truth. In the end, your journey is not just about leaving behind the past. It's about stepping into your power as the chosen one. You've broken free from the chains of manipulation, forced others to confront their truths, and illuminated the reality that no one can truly own you. Your resilience, unmatched energy, and evolution render their tactics powerless. You stand as a testament to the strength that comes from self-discovery and liberation. They can cling to their illusions, but the truth remains. Your path is uniquely yours, and their inability to accept this only highlights their own limitations. As you continue to embrace your authenticity, remember that your light serves as a beacon for others seeking their own freedom. You are not just a survivor, you are a warrior, a force of nature, and a guiding light for those ready to break their own chains. So, if you resonate with this journey of empowerment and transformation, join our community of chosen ones. Subscribe to the channel and be part of a movement that celebrates resilience, authenticity, and the extraordinary power within each of us. Together, let's rise, thrive, and redefine what it means to truly be free. Your journey is just beginning, and we can't wait to explore it with you.